Yeah, the wards are up and running. Right. I don't know if you wanted to see what they were, but this is what they mean. If you wanted to look at it. All right. Hello. Guess I'm just gonna keep going live from the laptop. It honestly seems to be easier anyway. I can't figure out how to. This is TikTok. That is YouTube.
Oh.
And this is the thing, is I tried to go on YouTube from my phone because I finally have enough subscribers to go on my phone, and I couldn't figure out how to make the comments work. Like, I couldn't comment and pin my link tree. I couldn't even see the comments. I even commented from my other account. Couldn't see it. So, gosh, is it hot in here? Or is that just me?
I've got my jacket
on. There was something I was going to say too, but go ahead.
I really wish that.
Oh, actually, I think I already said it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That I could let you hear Tia's voice message, because literally.
Oh, God.
I normally try to just, stay neutral while I listen.
Yeah.
And Ava was sitting in the bed. I couldn't help it. I was dying the whole time. Like, I stopped laughing for a second, and then he said something else, and I was dying again.
Oh, my God. I don't even remember what Eli and I were talking about last night, but he was cracking me the fuck up, too. He is so funny. Oh, man. Will you do me a favor? Will you put my grilled cheese in the fridge?
Yeah. I just remember one of the things he said was something about the people that he's had to deal with, things that they've said, but he was laughing, and he was like,
The rules of the game are simple.
Jeez. Okay, moving on. Oh, I'm still on the right account. Okay. What is it? I'm responsible for my For You feed. I am responsible for my For You feed.
and he was just like laughing, and it was with his accent, so it made it funnier.
Wow. I bet. I don't know if I'd even been able to understand him.
It was so funny.
He's so hard to understand.
His original language is Portuguese.
I mean, that would be why he's hard to understand.
Exactly.
Hi, guys. How's it going? Oh, one part of those wards is transmuting the, negative energy into prosperity.
Yeah,
I have to fucking use some of that.
Awesome.
I love this cup. It's so pretty. I don't know where the lid is, though.
You probably should have put something other than, added on to rain and wind, because those are both kind of annoying sometimes. Just because how much. You know what I mean?
Hi, Mary Lou. Okay. I really hope that it's going to get busy tonight, because so far it's not, and it was slow as hell last night, which is why I ended up getting off. Alright, can I get 4 cards for Mary Lou, please? I can't even listen to that right now. Sweet.
lovely.
Thank you.
Alright, see you later.
All right.
No, you get out of here.
You usually pull it this way before you go out.
Have your sandwich.
Oh. All right. Are these all in the right direction for me? Oh, shit. Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. Not great. Hey, Cecilia. Hey, Eli. What are you doing here, troublemaker? Okay, so. Okay, all right. Y'all know the drill. If you want on the list, comment your first name. If you're interested in paid reading, pricing's over here. Payment links in my bio on TikTok. They're in the pinned comment over there on YouTube. If you want a free question, you can go over to YouTube. Subscribers get one free question per stream. Okay. Right now I've got Mary Lou. Celia. Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me write down Cecilia. Okay. All right. So we've got safety, balance, protection, and wisdom. These are for Mary Lou. They are all in reverse. That's why I was like, oh, it's not great. These are all just kind of screaming like out of alignment, basically. Like balance is, where you are like centered in your life and on your path, right? Like, we get the higher perspective card, which is, it's great. It is about your perspective. It is about, being able to be objective and understand that shit happens for a reason and that kind of stuff, right? But like the balance card is, I want to say it's more like how we like literally interact with the world, right? How we like, how we perceive what is immediately in front of us, how we react to those things, how we allow those things to make us feel. Like it's more on a I'm going to say earthly level. I don't really know how else to put it. I think that the safety and protection, it's not necessarily coming through like, oh yeah, there's something that's like after you per se, other than maybe yourself. Like if this is like anxiety based off of like trauma or something negative that's happened, it can get brought back up, which would explain the imbalance thing. But it could also be about a person that is, but I feel like with both of these, you would know. Like if this is about a person, then you would know who it's about. If you are thinking, I don't think there is someone there, then I would say that this is probably related to more like a past thing. So you'll have to figure out, I guess you're going to have to look at your situation and tell me which it is, because all I got is 4 cards. Wisdom in reverse. This is the wisdom card is about how we learn from the experiences that we have had, how we integrate that knowledge so that we can move forward in our lives without kind of making the same mistakes or the same choices, being in the same situations, stuff like that. So I think I want to say I feel like it's a past person, but it could be a past person and a present person. I'm trying to see if they're gonna. Okay, whoever is standing over here, you need to back up because you are too close. The hairs on this arm are standing up. Like somebody, and it got real cold right here. And so I think they're like leaning over to see what the cards are. It's like, y'all need to personal space. Okay. Personal space. Okay. Anyways, so I would look at past situations, and make sure you're not making the same choices again. So this is either integrating those experiences, or it's you're in a similar situation and you need to look at things with the experience that you've had and don't dismiss what you know to be true because you don't like the answer. Right. Yeah, I know. But like sometimes they crack me up and sometimes I'm just like, could you just back up? Okay. Trying. Yeah, I know sometimes it's easier said than done, especially when you're in a situation where like you are having to like physically rely on this person, like especially with like parents or whatever, like situations where you are relying on someone to hold on. Sorry, my sister left something over here. She literally just left. She was like, I left that. Okay, anyways, can I get a card from Mary Lou? Wow. Point made. Oh. No boundaries, spirit. Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you for the follow. Okay. All right, I'm going to say the thingy really quick. So, especially for people that are new here, if you want free cards, you can call me your first name. If you're interested in paid reading, pricing's over here. If you want a question answered, you can go over to my YouTube. You can just look it up. It's Amethyst Tarot. You might have to scroll down just a little bit. But anyways, I do one free question for subscribers per live. And if you're doing paid reading, payment links are in my bio on TikTok. They're in the pinned comment over there on YouTube. Okay. All right. Okay. Can I get a card for Haley, please? Oh my God. Okay. Oh. Okay. That's no poker face. None. Well, just Mary Lou and then you. Josh. Aw, thank you. Okay, all right, let me write down Josh. Okay. Yeah, so what we do here for new people, I'm explaining it for new people, but what we do here is I do 4 of my regular Oracle cards, and then I do 1 of each of these from a different deck. They're for like shadow work and self-reflection, basically. Okay, this one is authenticity. Okay. I stand in the fullest expression of my authentic truth. I will not sacrifice who I am to make others comfortable. When we choose to sacrifice who we are to put on a face for others, we may likely feel betrayal. Not betrayal by others, the betrayal of ourselves. There are many reasons throughout life we can put on a mask to hide what is really authentic within us. Vulnerability, fear, shame, guilt, rejection, uncertainty, not wanting to burden others, not wanting others to see us as weak or incapable. What are the reasons we have collected in opposition to that? Reasons to be authentic. Putting on false masks, personas, or shape-shifting ourselves to make others or ourselves more comfortable is a path that can make us spiral into a cycle of inauthenticity. If we walk inauthentically for long periods of time, we can forget what it is like to be unapologetically free within ourselves. Inauthenticity can cause us to fill our lives with connections that perpetuate the cycle of self-betrayal. People that we aren't ourselves around, relationships that aren't aligned, jobs that feel depleting rather than fulfilling, and patterns that cycle us farther away from living fully aligned and expressed. We must be willing to be fully authentic with ourselves in order to be fully authentic with others. Notice what parts of you feel the most edgy to accept and share, even within yourself. Okay, then the questions. What are all the masks I wear or have worn in this life? How have I sacrificed or changed myself because of others? And do I feel fully available to be my most authentic self? And then the ritual. Free yourself within your own body by dancing a free-form movement that isn't for anyone other than you. Put on a song you'd like to move to, turn up the volume and let loose. Let your movements be wild, silly, playful, sensual, ugly, free, and weird. The more raw and unrefined, the better. Invite yourself to move in a way that would feel edgy to show others, whatever that is for you. The intent is to break through the internal barriers and let layers of yourself free. When complete, look into a mirror and speak, I love and accept myself in all ways. Sit for a few moments in stillness and notice what you feel. Every time I read this card, I think about there's a song by Fleetwood Mac that I absolutely love to dance to. Specifically spin. I really like to spin. It's Gypsy, and there's like a guitar spot where it's just like the guitar solo or whatever, and it's great. It's great to spin too. Okay, anyway, so then there's this one is tend to your partnerships, which definitely backs up everything I was saying a minute ago. This could be a time to review or negotiate business, renew romance or friendship, or nurture the primary partnership you have with your own soul. The wild things know there is no thriving without the earth's good graces for food, water, shelter, and beauty. They honor her generosity with reciprocity. Is it time to share, celebrate bounty, give back to the resources that have provided for you? Perhaps you're being called to receive instead of continuously giving. You need not earn your belonging. Take stock of where you are woven into healthy partnership and where you are not. This is a time for balanced reciprocity. Literally, the balance card came out a minute ago from the other deck. Love it when they say the things that I said with the same words. Okay, all right. I hope that was helpful, Mary Lou. Good luck with getting out of whatever this situation is that you're stuck in. Yeah, balance. All right, Cecilia, you ready? So I've got Cecilia, and then I have Josh. You're welcome. Okay. All right, cool. Okay. What? Oh. Am I a mod? Okay, sorry. Anyways, getting rid of a scammer. Okay. Can I get 4 cards for Cecilia, please? I don't got time for that. I would like to think that none of my followers are dumb enough to fall for it. I think that was just about that. Hold on a second. Alright, is this one for Cecilia? No. It's just about the scammer. It's the deceit card. That was hilarious. Okay, can I get 4 cards for Cecilia, please? Oh, shit. Okay, alright. Interesting. Okay, so we've got productivity. Oh, thank you. We got productivity and starting over upright. And we have wisdom and safety are in reverse. It's interesting that I just got those 2 for her too. Anyway, so I think that you are working to, I want to say do this complete like shift and reset of your life. You know, this can also be about an actual job. So if that is something that you're pursuing, it is something that's going to end up changing everything else. I will say that the wisdom and the safety cards they're kind of coming through with the alternate thing that I was saying about her, whereas, I was telling her that I feel like it's a situation that's like current, or like a person that it's like current. This feels more like it's past, and so like you're still trying to like heal from this, and you're trying to integrate these experiences. It's more than one. These experiences into wisdom, which is not easy to do, right? We have to shift perspective. We have to go through the healing process, and we have to look at those situations and go, okay, I'm going to use this to not make those choices again. I'm going to use this to make sure that that somebody can't treat me the same way or whatever, so I think that you're struggling with that part, and I think that it might be like a self-doubt thing, because you're still trying to heal it, but I think there's also like this sense of like, I was going to say like distrust in general. This kind of stuff leads to like anxiety and stuff like that. So like anxiety, self-doubt, that kind of thing. I think you're working through it, like I know they're in reverse, but it sort of seems more like a in progress than a not doing it kind of thing. I don't ever put mine sideways, but if I did, I'm pretty sure those two would be sideways. Yeah, I want to say like, you want to shift the perspective on the situations that you have been in. Self-blame isn't going to get you anywhere. You want to look at it like, okay, well, I don't want to do this again. I'm not going to do this again. I learned from it. And then just be objective in situations, like don't let anxiety rule what you're doing. You don't want to let doubt ruin every good opportunity. But at the same time, don't ignore a gut feeling, perspective change. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. So like, don't let the doubt or whatever, you want to use discernment. You want to use the gut feeling, but you also want to use, the knowledge and wisdom that you have based on previous experiences. What the truck full of red flags looks like. So, you're not going to ignore it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, don't just look at every single truck and assume that there are red flags in the truck, Okay, all right. Let's do these two. Ooh, these always shuffle so nice. I love it. Can I get a card versus eight? Oh, shit. Oh, man, they're both so good, though. Let me see what comes out of this. Never mind. I'm going to read both of these because whoever's here that was like, leaning over the cards are there for you. And I think that you need both of these. So I'm going to read both of them instead of doing that other card like I usually do. All right. This one is change. I embrace change as opportunity. I welcome the mystery and change with the tide. Change challenges us to consider our attachments, control, desire, fear, uncertainty, confusion, curiosity, responsibility, and resilience. Life is consistently changing, moving, and flowing around us in both expected and unexpected ways. Sometimes we can have a strong desire to keep things as they are just because we fear the unknown or what may come. Change brings new life, new possibilities, and new openings. How do we meet change? Are we so set in our ways, our comfort, our discomfort, our stubbornness, and what we already know that we aren't willing to grow, be wrong, make mistakes, be human, learn, and meet change head on? Are we so mutable, ever-changing, flowing, shifting that we forget to take root and allow ourselves stability? When life changes within us or around us, we have an opportunity to adapt and lean into our resilience, or an opportunity to collapse into the crippling attachment to what we desire something to be. We can resist change or meet it and flow. Change is the only constant, and yet there is a part of you that is steady and present through every change. Consider holding an essence of curiosity and sinking into the mystery. Think about ways you have adapted to change in the past. And then the questions. What am I afraid of that keeps me from welcoming change? What changes have I held myself back from making? And what changes can I embrace as new opportunities? Literally, this for the starting over card. Okay, so then the ritual. This one is interesting. Boil water and gather herbs for a tea or infusion. You can use a tea you already have or select herbs or a tea that feel right for you. Pour water into your mug with the herbs or tea. Watch the way herbs and water meet, changing into a tea. While waiting for your tea to steep, consider any attachments you're holding for yourself or a situation. Notice how you feel about the possibility of change. When you are ready, hold your cup and breathe an intention into your heart around resilience or adapting to change. Blow your intention into your tea, drink and invite the tea to offer you deep medicine for change. I just want to point something out. I feel like I used to say this and then I stopped saying it, so I'm going to say it again. When you're doing shadow work, like these little ritual exercise things, they're just one option, right? Like there are other options. So like, while that's a great, like, cute little perspective thing, some of them are more helpful than others, but while that's a great, perspective thing, it's going to take more than just that, All right. Okay. This is the other one. I love this card. This card is Rising. I arise from the ashes of life's flame. I am resurrected, reborn, rising. You should just screen record this one. All right. We have opportunities to rebirth ourselves consistently. With every year on our birthday, every month with the moon, every day with the sun, every moment we choose. Like the phoenix who dies in a beautiful display, bursting into flames, becoming fire and ash, and as grand of a resurrection as the perishing, a powerful self emerges each time anew. Our lives have defining moments that shape us, show us what we're made of, stretch us, and show us our power and strength. More often than not, those defining moments come from how we rise when we have fallen. Yeah, you're going to probably have to message me or I'm going to forget to do it, but I'll take a picture. Okay, more often than not, those defining moments come from how we rise when we have fallen. Our power and brilliance are amplified by moments when we've had an opportunity to perish and meet our destruction, and instead we rose from the flames. Parts of us die when we outgrow them, when we experience an event that is traumatic, or when we choose to let parts of ourselves go. What if those emotional and spiritual deaths are invitations for us to rise and rebirth? Reflect on parts of yourself that have died, mourn them if needed. Consider parts of yourself that have rebirthed. How did you rise even stronger than before? And then the questions. What within me am I ready to release into life's flames? How can I honor the parts of self that are no longer here? And what new identity do I choose to rebirth myself as? And then the ritual. Gather a paper, pen, and fire supplies, outdoor fire, or safely indoors with a small fireproof bowl and candle. Unplug the smoke alarm. I keep mentioning that to people because I've done it. Okay. Sit quietly. Receive a few deep breaths. Tune into a part of self that is ready to be reborn. Sorry. Okay. Ask that part of self what is ready to fall away and what parting words of wisdom it has for you. Write anything that you're ready to release in a symbolic death. Read what you wrote. Speaking it into the fire. Release it into the flame and watch its beautiful departure. Once the fire has died down and cooled fully, safely collect a small bit of ash. Tune in to the part of self that is ready to be reborn. Welcome that part of self to this world by anointing yourself with the ash and saying, "Thank you. I welcome you. I am here." Oh, God. Ooh. I guess explain what you mean. No. Well, I mean, she's not here, if that was your question. Lilith's energy is not cold. She's infernal. Her energy is hot. So there's that. I forgot the other one. Let's change. Hold on. Let me get this one. And then Josh, you're next. Okay. All right. I took 3 pictures. Someone's been lurking around me. Do you have protections up? Like good ones? Not just I'm wearing this thing that I feel like is going to protect me kind of thing. You're welcome. Okay, let's see. Need this. Okay. Back up. I'm thinking. Give me a second. I don't know who that felt cold. And they also feel like they're connected to you. So they probably wouldn't have been connected to Lilith. I will say there are underworld beings like Hecate who, like, their energy can feel cold because they're not part of hell. They're part of other areas of the underworld, which is cold. I don't know. Give me a minute. Let me do Josh's cards and then I'll see. I will say I didn't get like a negative vibe, and also I just redid my wards tonight. So like nothing can get in here that means harm or means to deceive. So if it meant to hurt you, it couldn't have gotten in here. It felt curious. Let me rephrase. It felt nosy. That's what it felt. So it could just be a spirit that was drawn to you because that's what you're doing. But let me do Josh's cards. Okay, can I get 4 cards for Josh, please? Oh my goodness. Okay. That one. Okay. Okay, make sure these are on the right. These are on the right direction. You're interesting. That's one of my favorite words, honestly. We have a joke around here that as often as I say it, you could make a drinking game out of it and probably be dead by the end of life. I don't say it as much anymore as I used to. I used to say it a lot. But yeah, no, you're interesting. So we've got deceit, inspiration, productivity, and balance are upright. And I went ahead and gave you this one because it was stuck to the back of the other one, which is safety in reverse. So it's like you're this really hardworking person and you just kind of like you can get things done, but you like don't give yourself enough credit for what you have done, what you're capable of doing. There's the deceit card upright is generally about you deceiving yourself. So I would say, and then, inspiration, it's like you don't feel like your ideas are like big enough or good enough or something. Like there's like a definite hint of like self-doubt. And I do think, especially combined with the productivity card, which is like work, like that's generally about work. I think that you're very balanced and grounded in a lot of ways. And so I feel like this is one of the few consistent issues that you have. So I think that and I was saying it a minute ago, like, that there's two different things with these cards. We've got like the higher perspective one, which I feel like you're decently connected with yourself, but it's almost like you have the connection, so you get the idea, but then you're like, well, I don't know if that would work out, so I'm just gonna stick with this instead. You're afraid to take the leap. Afraid to take the leap. But anyway, so I think that the balance card is definitely, like, upright is definitely a positive thing. So whereas like the higher perspective one is more related to like this abstract way that you see the world, basically. And then the balance card is more about how you see things from a more literal, like, where you're at standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, you can get the things done, you can find the way out of the situations. Like, you don't tend to get, I want to say, kind of really emotionally reactive. The safety card in reverse is what I find interesting. Very interesting. It can just come up as a self-doubt thing, which would make sense with the rest of this. I think someone made you doubt yourself. Like, I think that this generally comes back to like some kind of relationship, usually like childhood stuff. Not always, but often. So I think that like somebody created that little voice in the back of your head that was just like, be realistic. Like, like, be realistic. Stop daydreaming. That kind of thought process is like the issue here, right? Like, you're scared to take the leap because somebody told you that you shouldn't. So side note, tell that voice to shut the fuck up. just saying, like, seriously. Like, you can do some really great things. Don't talk yourself out of it. Yeah. Like, don't talk yourself out of it. Like, you could do some really great things. You're holding yourself back. All right, let me do the other cards. Oops. Wow. Hope was on the bottom. Okay. All right. Can I please get a garbage brush? You caught that one too. Oh. I just read this one, so I'm not going to read it again, but it definitely fits with what I was saying. Okay, let's see. Okay, can I get a card for Josh? Woo! Oh, wow. Yep. Oh, shit. Spirit be nice. Are we good? Oh, okay. All right. Which part? All I was saying was that this one, I just read it a second ago, so I was not going to read it again unless you want me to. But this is the authenticity one. So I haven't started reading these yet. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. I just wanted to see what these middle ones were. Okay. All right. So this one is boundaries. So that person's still there, huh? Okay. This card should just be called the People Pleaser card. Okay. I protect my body, energy, time, and space. I am allowed to say no to anything and anyone at any time. Boundaries are vital. Our time, our energy, our minds, our hearts, our bodies, our resources, our wisdom are all quite precious. We get to choose what we have the capacity to hold, what we desire to share and when, how we engage with others, and what we say yes or no to. We do not need to burn ourselves out, sacrifice ourselves, or extend ourselves in any way to make others feel comfortable. We do not owe an explanation to anyone for how we choose to live or share ourselves. We are allowed to set boundaries, to preserve what we desire before the point of burnout or dissonance. If someone becomes uncomfortable because of the boundaries we put up, that is not ours to hold or manage. That's even more reason to set boundaries. Oh, somebody got filtered. We want to ensure that we are boundaried without putting up walls that prevent ourselves from being in mutually beneficial exchanges with others. We also want to ensure that we aren't shutting down or off to avoid having tough conversations. And setting healthy boundaries is a form of self-care. Embrace your power to protect what is sacred. Notice any internal discomfort when saying yes to something. If you have a hard time telling people no, ask yourself why. Consider any tendencies to overgive. Notice if you feel drained due to imbalanced boundaries. And the questions to ask yourself: where do I desire to be fiercer in the declaration of my needs? Where am I? Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. Okay. Where do I desire to be fiercer in the declaration of my needs? Where am I overprotecting myself in imbalanced ways? And how can I speak up and create clearer boundaries? And then the ritual: gather 2 pieces of paper and something to write with. On one paper, draw a large square. Inside the square, list all the things that you are a yes to for your own body, energy, and what is allowed within your boundaries: connections, relationships, energies, and feelings you want more of. On the other paper, write all things that are a no and not allowed within your boundaries. Tear the no sheet into little pieces and place them outside of your yes boundary sheet. Feel what it is like to assert your boundaries and to discern your yes and no. I like that one. I like the ritual in that one too. Okay, we got one more book. Hold on. One more book, one more card, whatever, something like that. Oh, wow. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's usually it's apparent, like obvious. Okay. It's literally on my wall. Wow. That's crazy. You can look up I was saying this a minute ago, like you can look up other like therapy exercises or whatever for the boundaries thing. It doesn't just have to be that, but I think it's awesome that you did that one. Like that I don't know if you looked it up or if it was just a like intuitive thing that you were like, you know what, I'm going to do this. But I think it's an awesome exercise, and I think it's cool that you already did it. Okay, this one is restore innocence. Oh yeah, to be fair, most people are. Like even I have issues with it sometimes. All right, restore. Yeah, I noticed. Okay, restore innocence. You were born with original innocence, not original sin. And that innocence keeps pace with you like an invisible companion. It's hoping right now to be noticed, loved. Like with all nature's creatures, original innocence is your birthright. And all you have to do is look at a newborn to understand this. We don't love the baby because of what it has accomplished. We don't shame the baby for making messes or being loud or inconveniencing us. The child is treasure, as is. Nothing but beingness required. Let that innocence carry you home to yourself when thoughts of guilt or shame creep up on you. Oof. That one. That one is, for sure. I was hearing something. I'm trying to hear what it was. I lost it. Somebody was talking. I was trying to hear who it was, or I should say what they were saying. That is such a. I think that, especially when we have issues caused by our parents, that like having that thought process is really hard, because we think like, well, something must be wrong with me if someone's treating me like this, and then that's a pattern that carries on through other relationships. Is somebody treats you badly, and you're just like, well, I like, maybe I did something wrong, or like maybe I'm just not doing enough, or whatever. Like you blame you instead of blaming them when it is their fault. Oh man. Work on the boundaries. You deserve to feel at peace and not overextend yourself. Oh shit. You're welcome. I'm sorry. I know sometimes they're rough. You're very welcome. Okay, all right. I was gonna talk to Cecilia about the thingy. Let me see what you said. Well, this hasn't happened. I recently started meditating, and since I've been meditating, I've been hearing things and waking up. I realize opening up portals and being more spiritually tuned, but I heard. Well, you don't want to open portals, just saying. Okay, but I heard a voice of my hand. He said, "She's mine." Also, door handles jiggling a lot. And it wasn't him, and I knew it. I'm supposed to move away from my toxic family, and I'm at a turning point in my life. And don't solve that issue. Yeah, fair. Yeah, the what was here, I didn't get bad feelings from either. Us for stress and nervous system. Oh, nice, yeah. I think. Whoops. Oh, I'm sorry. Something. There was a really weird sound outside. I don't know. Maybe it's just the wind. It was weird. Okay. Anyways. Okay. Yeah. Who was here? It felt like it didn't feel negative. It felt nosy. And I say, oh my God, thank you. And so it didn't feel, it didn't feel negative. It just felt nosy. And when I say nosy, I mean like there's curious, and then there's curious and kind of pushy. It was curious and kind of pushy. Like it got over here in my personal space, and I'm like, you need to back up. And then like it didn't immediately back up. So like I could have made it eventually after, I'm gonna say like several seconds, then it finally did. But it was like they wanted to see the cards because they were leaning over to look at the cards. Have you been calling on anybody specific? The voice, though. That very well could have been something else. Because remember I said that if something meant harm, it couldn't get in here? If there could be more than one, especially because you are connecting and everything. So the wind is blowing really hard. Give me a second. I'm still incredibly traumatized from the hurricane. So anytime that the wind blows, like, I have to fight a panic attack. And like I heard a tree branch, like a big tree branch crack just now. Okay. Anyways. Recent work also going on. Yeah, I think if it was somebody that was with her, it would have been. She's not going to imitate a guy's voice. She hates men. So, she's not going to imitate a guy's voice. I will say this. If you're going to be moving with a guy, or if he's living with you, I don't know if Lilith is necessarily the best option. Because, like I said, she hates men. I don't know. I think so. Are these things called trickster spirits that do stuff like that? And like they usually some of them hang around because they're kind of feeding off your energy, and then some of them hang around because they're just fucking bored, so they're messing with you. Hold on. What have you been doing lately? These are not great. These are not great. I don't say that to scare you. I say that because it's true. With my family, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I think you accidentally called on somebody else. And I have an inkling of who it is. But I don't want to say for sure, and then it's not. And then that's not who it is. I'm thinking. Something is also knocking. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Oh, fucking puzzle piece. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to tell you what these are. And therefore why I was like, this isn't great. First card was the Upheaval card, which is essentially the Tower card in this deck. And I was like, okay, well, like, is it really like that bad? Okay. And there's these two. This is Shadow Self, and then this is Summoning. And then there's Communication, fate, shape shifting, and then I was thinking the question and got the yes card, but this is getting into reading this is definitely reading territory, but I kind of just want to know what's going on. Hi, Carmen. How are you? I don't know. I need to like dig into it some more, but I would just. We need to talk about what protections that you have up. Like, I need to know, like, what they say. You know? Because there are things that you can do that would push out anything negative. I almost want to say, I have an idea. Which would be a lot better than what I was thinking. So excited to be on at the same time. I know! Well, I mean, I know that, but I just meant, like, what do they mean? You know? Like, what's the meaning behind the sigils? You don't have to write it on there. I'm just saying that makes a difference. Let me ask this question. No. Okay. Well, damn. Let's see, remember I made it a while ago. Okay, you have to recharge. Whoops. Can something negative get inside her words? Hi, Ariana. Okay, can I get, let's see, can anything negative get inside Cecilia's words? We get a full, so get, okay, yeah, sure. Anything negative or harmful get inside her words. Oh my goodness. Not answering the question. Oh, okay. Oh, I have another thought. Hi, Liz. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, is it? Poltergeist that's manifested inside her words. No. Well, that was a quick no. Thank you. I'm thinking. Okay, well, will it hurt or attempt to? I don't think that thing in particular will, but these definitely look like they're saying what I was saying a minute ago, that if you don't, like, recharge them, possibly redo them. If you don't redo it, then you're leaving open an opportunity for things to come in, because so this is the intuition card. You're opening yourself up with what you're doing, right? And this is the awaken your magic. This is like the disconnecting to your higher self, right? So basically, you're getting the attention of things. Excuse me. And if your words are not well written and strong enough, then yes, things can get in. I was trying to ask if. Ooh, caution. Okay. I'm going to say that answered the question before I even asked it. Okay. I'm going to say this really quick. Okay. And I don't know if you want to take notes. But. Okay. So, just a couple of these that I would include. Okay. So, I just redid my words literally before I got on live. All harmful beings within these wards at any time are immediately forced out, which means if something does get in, because my house and my mom's house, it's on a ley line. So, like, sometimes things do get in through that, and so it just boots them out. Okay. Not that one. Not that one. Okay. All right. This one. Only those with positive, neutral, or helpful intent may enter this warded space. Oh, this one I thought was really cool. So I made it to where my wards they're outside. Well, except for that one. But like, I made it to where like they're charged by like the sun and the moon, and then like they get cleansed whenever it's like by the rain or like wind, which is probably why it's windy as shit outside right now, because it didn't start till after I put these up. So yeah, it just says like these wards and the space within are charged by the sun and moon and cleansed with the rain and wind. And then I've got some that call on the people that I work with, basically. This one just says that it's cloaked, right? Because you're going to cloak yourself. None, I don't think, unless I'll have to go back up and look, but I don't think anybody. Oh, okay, all right, okay. And then there's this one, which is just the basic: none who mean harm or to deceive may enter this worded space. That's something that people leave off of there, because if something doesn't necessarily plan to hurt you, it can still be there to like lie to you or manipulate you, which you don't want that either. So the point is, you want protection from things that are going to be harmful or lie to you. You want to make sure that anything that does get in that shouldn't be in there gets kicked out. Make one that calls on the beings that you work with. Whoever, not Lilith. Not Lilith. That would get bad fast. Okay, and then I just did one that transmutes like negative energy that's in the space into like peace and prosperity and healing, so that the people that are here that are building up negative energy, it gets, it's going to get changed into something helpful. Okay. I can send you the sentences, I guess, if you want. Not right now, obviously, but if you remind me, I can send it to you. But I'm not going to send you the sigils because you should make your own. But yeah, I would think of some people that you feel like you can call on for protection. Okay. All right. Anyways, let me look at anybody that's... All right. Okay. Thank you. Let me look at who is here. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Carmen. Okay. No, I'll check. I'll give you the advice for free. That's fine. All right. Okay. Liz, and then Carmen. Liz, Carmen. Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you. You always send me extra. You don't have to, but I definitely appreciate it. Okay. All right, Liz. You ready? I'm hungry. I don't know why. It's so weird. I don't usually eat when I wake up. Oh, I haven't had coffee. That explains a lot. That explains why I'm slowly starting to get a headache. I get the cards for this, please. I might, dang. Hold on. One second. I just want to fill this up so it can start while I'm talking. This thing is great. I picked it up and then I dropped it again. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. Can I get... I don't know what that was, but... Okay. Can I get 4 cards for these, please? Oh gosh. Okay, are these on the right direction, please? Thank you. Jeez. Okay. Okay, so there's upheaval is upright, deceit and inspiration are in reverse. Sorry, that's loud. And then the higher perspective is upright. I just want to say be careful. Because the deceit card in reverse in general is usually talking about another person. You guys having bypass surgery tomorrow, so I'm a bit nervous. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, that would explain the upheaval for sure. I guess the deceit card in reverse could just be talking about like this the I'm gonna say like the situation. What's the word I'm looking for? You know, like there's a suffering attached to the situation. Oh, so like upheaval is the first one, right? And that one is like, okay, it makes sense if that's how you're feeling. So it's like chaos and, you know, fear, anxiety, that kind of stuff. And then deceit in reverse usually talks about another person, but I think that it could be like you guys talking. Damn, right? Yeah, my first thought was that it was related to a person, especially because deceit is in reverse is usually related to a person. I was going to say, you know, that maybe it was related to like the illness that was requiring him to have the surgery, but it still makes more sense for it to be a person. Yeah, go on. I did. Yep, I put you on the list. Yeah, you're next after Liz. Oh, intelligence in reverse. Huh? That's you. Okay. So I don't think it's about him. I don't think it's about him. I think it's about that situation, like with your dad. I think it's a fact situation, and then I think I mean, unless it's just talking about how you're feeling about all of it, like just not trusting it, basically, you know, inspiration, like, you know, having difficulty seeing this going the way that you wish that it would because you don't really trust it. Because I was picking up the love cards and I got the runner and I was like, oh, that's you. Let me see what comes out with the shadow cards. Okay. Maybe it'll usually make it make sense somehow. Okay. Can I get a card for this piece? What those other ones are about. It's too many cards. Too many cards. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like confusion. I'm not necessarily going to read both of those, but they are interesting. What do you think it was? My feelings towards. Yeah, I think that that like upheaval. I think is the internal turmoil that you're feeling about it. The deceit card in reverse, I think, is like I think it is the illness that is requiring the surgery. Hey Christian, how are you? I'm doing all right. And then what was the other one? Hold on. Oh yeah, inspiration and higher perspective. Yeah, I want to say it's almost like a afraid to hope kind of thing. Let me get a card for these. And it can honestly be both. You know, it could be about both. I don't know if it's bad or because I'm scared and I don't trust it. That's fair. Yeah, doing all right. Doing all right. None of these are making sense, so I think I'm supposed to read those two. Oh, okay. I was like, tell me something bad is not going to happen. And I got satisfaction and confidence, and they were upright when I just split the deck. Okay. This makes sense. These make sense. Okay. So confused about The other one too, with, what looks like it's being back. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because the card is confusion. So maybe it will be helpful. Okay, let's read it. Mm. I know. All right. I welcome confusion as an opening to new possibility. I let go of the need to have anything figured out. Confusion as a feeling and emotional experience can be present when we are holding multiple energies, sensations, scenarios that feel conflicting, or when a decision needs to be made and we are weighing the options. Being anxious or nervous has a similar feeling inside the body as being excited or filled with energy. If we are used to experiencing anxious or nervous feelings, when we are excited or ready, we may get confused by the excitement and translate it as nervousness. We can hold what our heart is speaking in conflict with what we know to be logically true. We can also feel that inner pull that we just cannot explain or argue with that draws us in another direction. This can be incredibly confusing when our body and mind are equally conflicted in opposite ways. Okay. Sometimes we can lean toward valuing that which is logical and understood over that which we know to be true through the lens of our body, heart, and gut. There are times when we feel confused, but we actually know, yet are scared to follow the inner guidance that may be less logical but more intuitive. Sitting with a question can be a sacred portal towards deeper understanding. Welcome the energies of uncertainty as wide teachers, wide as wise teachers of possibility, mystery, and trust. Invite yourself to pause and really feel what is true underneath any questioning. And then the questions. What does it feel like to go against my inner guidance? When I am confused and conflicted, what is my go-to pattern? And how can I offer myself more spaciousness to sit in inquiry? And then the ritual. A pros cons list is a go-to for many because there is deep power in writing out our options. Writing out our questions or options to get them out of the visceral confusion of the body and into a place where we can visually see and process more clearly. To bring clarity in times of confusion, on one piece of paper, write, I feel or I could. Then free flow write with all the feelings or aspects of one side of the confusion. On another piece of paper, write, I also feel or I could also. Then free flow with the other side of your truth. Notice what becomes clear after writing it all out. You should do that. You should do that. I'm going to read this other one, but I think that one made way too much sense. All right. All right. This one is grief. I can't stop yawning. Sorry. Okay. I honor grief as a sacred process. I allow it to move through me in its own way and time. Grief is a potent force that moves in and through each being in unique ways. Stages, processes, or ways that it is said to be structured only paint a picture of possibility. Grief is like a mysterious umbrella. Under that umbrella lies an infinite possibility of emotion unique to the moment: anger, fear, loss, pain, loneliness, denial, guilt, numbness, or mourning that what could have been. It is also a window into hope, resilience, strength, rebirth, curiosity, enduring, adapting to change. Many ancient peoples honored grief as holy and sacred, knowing that the grieving one was moving through a necessary ceremonial experience for themselves, for the departed, and for the community. A griever is also said to be a conduit of the divine. Grief is like a storm. It can leave as quickly as it comes, or it can persist for days and weeks. It may contain thunder and darkness, or it may contain sun rays and secret rainbows. If we chase the rainbows, we are less likely to find them. They they appear only when, where, and how they want, just like grief itself. We can grieve people, possibilities, paths, and parts of self. Think about any perceptions you hold around grief. Reflect on any ways you wanted to rush through the grief or bypass grieving. Consider holding grief gently with compassion and tenderness. Invite yourself to see the grieving process as sacred. I think that the thing with your dad, I think there is other grief that is causing you to be so afraid of this. Like, I mean, it's totally fucking reasonable, for the record. It is totally reasonable for you to feel the way that you do about the situation. It's terrifying. So, I'm not discrediting that. You shouldn't discredit that. But I'm just saying, I think that there's this grief stuff. And, grief, it can come from the endings of relationships. It doesn't just have to come from, like, death. And so I think that that's also part of it. But yeah, I would do the confusion exercise. Oh, I forgot about the ritual part for the grief one. Create a sacred ceremony to honor grief itself. Feel into a situation which... Sorry. Okay. Feel into a situation which you are grieving or have previously experienced grief. Put on a clothing or accessory item that feels sacred or special. Gather an unlit candle and anything else that creates a sacred space or that feels relevant to grief. Light the candle with an intention to honor grief. Have an unfiltered discussion with grief where you speak all that you feel about grief until you feel fully emptied of your truth. Ask grief to share its wisdom with you as you listen in silence for a few moments. Oh, I have another thought too. Anything else to get over grief with the... Yeah, no. That's the one I was thinking about when it first came up. But I was thinking also about the situation with the people that just popped back up. That I think that you have to grieve that. I think you have to grieve what you thought that was going to be, like the dreams and everything that you had for that relationship. Because regardless of whether or not you're going to end up getting back together with that person, which I'm not saying necessarily is a good idea, but I'm just saying that, like, if we don't grieve it because we're like, well, but what if we did get back together and then I cut ties with those emotions of how I felt about that person. That's the thing, is you're not cutting those ties or grieving the loss of the current person that's in front of you. You're cutting ties with and grieving the loss of what you had with that person before, and like what that relationship was, all the things that you went through because of it, and like the loss of what you thought it was going to be. It's not going to happen. Oh yeah, I know that. I'm not worried. Not worried about that one. So I'm just saying, but it might be a situation that you haven't grieved it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much. I know. I think it's more than one thing. I think it's more than one thing. I think that it is that, but I think it's also, I think that it's also about, like, grieving these other connections that were lost, because like you were saying, like, you have done a lot of work, and this whole thought process of like, well, I should just be over it by now, it's like, it's harmful, so like, I mean, but I get what you're saying. Like, it sucks, to say the least. But I think that doing something more like, I don't want to say literal, that's the wrong word, but you get what I mean, like something in the physical like this, doing some kind of ritual where you're, you know, taking the time and not, like sitting in the feelings and stuff like that is important too. But I almost feel like this enacting a ritual or whatever where you're going through these very literal physical steps is something new. Yeah, this is a whole new thing that's happening. They know who sings. Yeah, I know. I also think, it was saying, it was talking about parts of self, right? I think that, with all the things that have happened to you, especially recently, but with all the things that have happened to you, I think that like you're a different person, and you keep kind of, I almost want to say, still trying to go back to yourself, like go back to the way that you saw yourself before, that kind of thing. I think that you have to look at the person that you are now, and I think you have to grieve the person that you were. You know what I mean? Because like some of those things, it's just like it changes who you are as a person. That's the thing. It's like when somebody that we love dies, like not only are we losing that person, but like it has changed who we are. So we've lost a piece of ourselves too. Yeah. I'm a soulmate, and he knows nothing about me yet. Oh boy. People. I think you have to grieve the loss of the relationship that you had with Sanchez, and then go forward with whatever you build after that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like, if he is the same person that he was before, you shouldn't do that. If he's different, then you need to grieve the loss of the relationship for how it was. You know what I mean? So that you can move forward. So like you don't have to entirely release your connection with him, but you want to release your connection to like this past version of him. If that makes sense. I'm gonna make my coffee. Oh.